For everybody that's here, can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
Awesome. So I'm Brad, and we're going to get started. This is recording. I'll be putting this up on the vendor dashboard behind the website, so we can watch it later, if, for reference. I'm pretty new to Zoom. I have a video background, but I'm pretty new to Zoom. So if anything comes up and you guys are more well versed at it than me, feel free to chime in. I'm going to go through a number of different things this morning. We'll keep it moving quickly, and then after each section, then I'll open up each section to questions. So, we're right there, on that particular topic at that moment instead of waiting till the end for questions. So I've also got a chat window up. I'm assuming you guys are hoping you guys can see the chat window if you wanted to throw in questions that way, and, instead of blurting them out or whatever, just, answer or ask a question there and I'll answer it. So just give you guys a quick background on myself. I have a graphic design, marketing design, animation, basically digital media background. A few years ago, I started producing the largest Halloween costume ball on the California Central Coast. I live in Paso Robles, which is between San Francisco and LA. I'll show you guys a few pictures here real quick. Let's see. I'm sharing my screen here. All right, can you guys see the picture of me with the guillotine?
Yeah, it's cool.
yes.
Okay, awesome. So I'm sharing my screen properly then. Okay, so anyway, I have a background in building a lot of these different props. The props, I'm kind of a creepy crafter myself, but I like to build really big stuff. And so over time, I start having an issue with storage, as you can imagine. That was the initial build. Here's the final build with the paint job on this particular guillotine. It's all wood, even the blade is wood. So I have a lot of fun creating things like you guys. My favorite thing in the world to do is to imagine something in my mind and actually, bring it into the real world. There's a number of different things that I've built. Again, everything's large. This is a giant, kind of a scary tree. It was built so that we could pull the arms off for storage and for transport. A couple other shots of that tree. This is a friend of mine, Diane, also really amazing local artist that helped design and build a lot of these props that I'm showing you guys. Final build on this particular prop. Also did a full-scale torture rack, which was pretty fun. So these are the shackles for that, turnbuckles and so forth. So this one was really popular for photo ops. People love to jump on it and take some pictures. Sorry, electric chair. And then my biggest piece ever is something I built last year. It's a two-story scarecrow. I call him the gatekeeper. We had him at the front entrance of our costume ball, so the attendants had to walk through his legs to get inside. So a lot of cool, fun photo ops with the gatekeeper. This shows you a couple other, so we can get to it, a couple other progress shots. Built him from wood originally, wood armature. These are pool noodles that we painted to look like vines. Doing this right here. This is another shot. We started embedding bones into them. We wanted to make it look like it was coming up out of a graveyard. We found some really cool material to put on it. The head was a kind of a modified paper mache and foam. The head is 4 feet wide. Again, he's 2 stories tall. And this is the gatekeeper. So a little bit about me. So about a year ago, I conceived the idea of Creepy Crafters. With building it myself, I initially thought I might want to start selling some things on Etsy, and I thought it would be really cool to create an actual platform similar to Etsy, where we could, we Creepy Crafters could sell stuff. So that's kind of how Creepy Crafters was born. So I've been working on this platform for the last year. I've got a small team of folks working with me. We spent this last year soliciting folks like you. I may have personally reached out to any one of you at one time and invited you to, subscribe to the site. So super excited to be at a point where, we're going to be launching this week. One of the first questions a lot of people are asking, this information about the marketplace fees is listed in our terms of use on the website too. So unlike Etsy, we are not charging any listing fees. We're also not going to enforce shipping. We are going to, charge the customer shipping. And the way that'll work is somebody drops your art in the shopping cart. We charge them whatever that fee is that you're charging, and all of that will go, including the shipping, less these two costs here will go out to you. We're going to be paying on a weekly basis out to the merchants, out to the vendors, you guys the vendors. So standard merchant credit card processing fee of 2.9% and 30 cents per transaction. And then the marketplace charges 5%. So some of you have probably already starting setting up shops. Some of you may not have even been on the website here today. Let's see, I'm assuming I've let everybody in. Let me just double check. Anybody work with Zoom? Let's see. Admit all. Looks like more folks are joining here.
All
right. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Welcome, guys. So this is I'm actually I'm a videographer in the past, but I'm still very new to Zoom, so just figuring out how to kind of move through all of this. Again, this is recorded. If you guys are just coming on and you missed any of this first part, I'll be posting this on the vendor dashboard. So for sharing screen. So this is the initial page where you're going to log into. It's under creepycrafters.com/my-account. Over here on the right side, you will register your account. You want to make sure and click the box here that says apply to become vendor. And you'll also need to, it's required to click the box regarding the terms and conditions and then hit register. And then once you've registered, you're immediately approved. Your application's approved as a vendor. And then you'll use this left side over here to log in. So I've just got a mock vendor account. I'll log into that creepy vendor account. And when you log in, it immediately will take you to the vendor dashboard. And when we arrive at the vendor dashboard, so again, I'm new to Zoom. Are you guys just seeing my screen right now, or are you seeing the images of everybody on video and all that too, or?
I just see your screen.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so on when you arrive at the dashboard, this first tab, dashboard, we put notes up here, like different announcements and stuff. So you always want to kind of pay attention to this. This is important information that's coming through. And then as you scroll down on the dashboard itself, this is going to be pertinent to you, your information as far as commissions due, commissions paid, your orders, total sales, that kind of thing. So this data over time will start to fill up. These are all mock transactions that we've been, using for testing and stuff. So this is where you as a vendor will, you see where all your transactions are taking place. Then there's products. We're going to come back to this in a second. I'm going to move across the top. But products, obviously, this is where you're going to be uploading information about your products and pictures. Looks like it's moving kind of slowly. So the billboard stays at the top. So each time you click on a tab, you're going to move down below. So your products will show up here once you've created them. You can go back in and edit them. You can also duplicate a product. If you've got similar products, you can duplicate them and then just swap out the content. And here you can delete it as well, or you can view what the product will look like also when it's completed. So we'll come back to that in a minute. Orders, go to this tab. So much like the dashboard, this is where you're going to see where your orders are listed. So what the products are, the customer, total, what the shipping, what the shipping was and so forth, order date. Move this over here so I can see this a little better. And then there's also, when you move over the product area, there's also links that will show up here for the order details, for setting up a shipping label. You can set up order notes that you can send to the customer, tracking number, and then you can mark it shipped and then also view commissions.
What kind of a shipping label is that?
So it's going to be a generic shipping label. We're just setting it up at like a now. Initially, it's going to be a generic shipping label that will pull the content across from the transaction, where you'll be able to put your tracking number in there. Let's see, and then also any questions that come up, like if there for some reason, you know, it's something that I'm not quite sure of or whatever, I'll make a note, and then, you know, we'll include that in the notes next to the video that comes up. Commissions, it's going to list any commissions that are due to you, any that have been paid. Scroll down, take a look at this. And shows, you know, what the order ID is, the date, the product, and then shows status over here if it's due or pending or paid. The settings, this is kind of a big one. This is where you're going to set up like your store name and basic information about the store itself. This is really important. We've got a list of vendors that show up on the website, and it's going to be important that you fill this information out. This is part of what will be required for you to show up on that page for the list of vendors. So as we just go down here, there's multiple tabs we'll look at here in a second under settings. So you're going to want to add your store name. There's actually two boxes for descriptions here. One is the store description and then seller info. This is similar to products. There's two different boxes which we'll go into when we go back into products. You're going to want to put your store address in here. That's important. Where you're going to be shipping from. You can enable the store hours when you're open. When you check this, you can go in here and set up, you know, when you're open, what days you're open and what times you're open. There's also a button that you can invoke here for enable vacation mode. If you go on vacation, you can click that to notify your customers that you're on vacation. And then also you can enable a store notice. So like, you know, we've got a, you know, hot sale coming up next week or whatever. You could put that kind of notice on your store as well. Payment, this is a big one. You guys are going to want to do this. So we're going to be submitting payment via PayPal. So you're going to want to, if you don't have a PayPal account, you'll want to set one up so you can get paid. And you list the email that you use to log into your PayPal account. That will go here under payment. Again, that's under settings in the vendor dashboard. Under branding, this gives you an opportunity to add a banner, as well as what they're referring to as a store icon. The store icon is different from your avatar, which we'll get into in a minute. The avatar is what will be listed on the vendor, the list of vendor page. So this gives you an opportunity to use your logo or just basically kind of brand your store. And that's where you upload these items for the banner and store icon. So regarding shipping, we're still just finishing that up. Hopefully by the end of day today, if not tomorrow, we'll have everything tightened down. But we're going to be initially using a flat rate shipping system. And the way it'll work is that there'll be 3 levels. You can set up your shipping at the product level. What we're looking at here is the vendor level. So we're in the vendor dashboard. So this will look similar. This interface for shipping will look similar when we go into products here in a minute. But you can set up your shipping at the product level and then set something up here at the vendor level. And then as a marketplace, we can set it up at the marketplace level as well. And basically what happens is the system looks first to whatever you set up in your products for pricing. If for some reason you've not put anything there, then it will look to your store here at the vendor level and will charge, you know, what you have listed here. If you haven't listed anything here, then whatever we end up setting up at the global level, then the store, or the marketplace will charge that. So it's going to be important that you know, of course, when you're going in and setting up your shipping, setting up your products rather, you're going to want to set up your shipping both, you know, at product level and then also at the vendor level here.
Are we able to do free shipping?
You are, you can, there'll be areas here where you can set up free shipping. Here it is, free national shipping, free international shipping, etc. So you'll have a lot of freedom as far as what you can do as far as setting up shipping. You can add a product handling fee also, and all this will be pulled across in the shopping cart transactions. For policies, yes.
So I think I see a box down there at the bottom that says you can disable international shipping. So if I check that, does that mean I won't have any international orders?
I don't believe that that's the case. I think international orders would come in either way. But if if you're, I would have to look into that a little bit more, honestly. But I think the orders would be coming in, even if you disabled that.
So
But
if
let me make a note.
if it's a flat rate shipping, I don't even begin to know how the system is going to determine the shipping to charge to the client. Let's say they're in New Zealand or Mozambique. I just don't even know what to do with that international shipping because it's not attached to any calculator.
Okay, so I don't have an answer for that directly. I'm working with the developers right now, and I'm going to make a note about that. And then this type of information, when we roll out that the shipping is ready here later today or tomorrow, we'll include that information so you'll know how to establish those rates.
Yeah, and I'd like to know more about that disable international shipping box, because if it were possible for me to just not offer international shipping and only accept domestic orders, then I know how to calculate the shipping for that, as long as it's the continental US.
Right, okay.
I'm
I agree. That's important.
I'm also a little worried about that maximum shipping charged. I know what the shipping cost is for my product for the continental US, but if I don't have a different shipping fee for Alaska and Hawaii, then I'm going to get those orders. They're going to expect my standard shipping charge, but I can't ship there for that price.
I'm sorry, I'm not quite clear on what you're asking. I'm making notes as we go here.
Well, I have a flat shipping rate for every order for the continental US, but if it's Hawaii and Alaska, how do I manage shipping for those so that it charges those customers the correct amount?
Okay, let me make a note for that, and I'll post answers for these questions.
Thanks,
So
I appreciate it.
Absolutely, Hawaii and Alaska. Okay. Okay.
And Brad, sorry, while you're jotting notes there,
Uh-huh.
as far as taxes, how's that being managed?
So sales tax is charged through, they refer to it as Nexus. So because the marketplace is in California, our Nexus would be considered in California. And so if we as a marketplace sell to someone in California, there'll be sales tax charged. And then that's basically it.
But you're collecting it. Creepy Crafters is responsible for reporting transactions, and then we're paid commissions, so we don't have to deal with additional tax implications.
Right. The marketplace is responsible for that. So basically, the powers that be in the last few years have started passing different legislation over this. It's we've got about 2,000 artists that have signed up currently, and we're very hopeful to get a lot more of you guys, of course. And it's just easier to collect from the marketplace than 2,000 artists. So yes, to answer your question, we'll be collecting that sales tax and filing that, so you guys don't have to deal with that. And again, that'll be for California transactions. Anybody that's in California that are purchasing from the marketplace.
And then do we get 1099?
So there wouldn't be any 1099s because we're responsible, to collect the tax. So we would be the ones filing it. So you wouldn't have to deal
So
with
then
that.
it just becomes income tax on our own.
Sorry.
We report it as income as part of our federal income tax.
So well, I mean your income, but not any of the tax that's being charged.
Right.
Yes.
Whatever the commission that comes through from the marketplace.
Right. Whatever you're making is your income.
Got it. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Policies, so we've established, we want to give you guys your own return and shipping policies. So on the home page, with respect to return policies, we just ask that everybody check with each individual vendor. There are some folks that don't, they don't want to have a return policy, whatever, that's totally up to you. And it'll be on the customers to make sure they review, your respective return and shipping policies. And so that's these tabs here at the settings level. So if we go back up again to the top, ratings. So we're going to have ratings and review systems. You'll be able to see how things are set up. So I had mentioned earlier on in some correspondence with you guys that much like most any of these sites with Etsy or Amazon, we're going to set up a 5-star review system, and folks will have to be they'll have to be registered, and they will have to have bought a product to be able to review it. This is my internet connection's unstable. I just want to make sure everybody's in here. Okay. We're also setting it up where you can list coupons. Can you guys still see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. We're going to set it up where you'll be able to create coupons for specific products, and then there'll be an area in the shopping cart where people can input that that coupon to get that discount. And then view store. If you click on this link, it'll take you to show you what your store looks like. So when somebody in the main navigation, this is what I had mentioned earlier, there's a list of vendors page. When they click on that, there'll be an icon that represents your store. When they click on that icon, then they'll come in here. And again, this is your banner that we were talking about earlier, and also the icon. The icon could be a photo of you or your logo, whatever you want it to be. This will be information about the store itself, your description of the store. It'll list what your current sales are. And again, this is available to the public. You had a question? Anybody have a question on that? And then the products. So whatever products that you end up listing, they will show up here as well. And then, let's see, back here. And then we'll go back to products then. So that's everything across the top. So as far as setting up your products, you go into this tab. You would click Add Product. And then just fill out the respective information. Product name, product description. So there's two different boxes here for product description. One says product description and the other says product short description. So the short description is at the top of the page. When somebody comes to one of your specific products, there'll be images of the product, the name, the price, and the short description. And then as you scroll down the page, and we'll look at this in a minute, we'll go out to a product page and look at it. When you scroll down the page, there's tabs at the bottom, and that's where the actual product description would be. So the short description would be that. It would be a couple lines, just a short little description of the product itself. It could be bulleted points. And then as you scroll down to the primary, the product description, that's where you could add in a great deal more content about that. You'll want to list categories. We're allowing up to 3 categories. There's quite a number. And on that note, I posted something, I think, in the vendor dashboard about categories. Because we have new people constantly coming on, there's going to be a point where, maybe there's not a specific category that's useful for them. So we're going to be changing the categories over the next week or two. So you'll want to keep an eye out for that, and you're able to add each product into 3 different categories. So just keep an eye on that as as we're working through adapting, as more people are coming on and more categories are being required. Your tags here, you can add in different types of tags that will help your products come up in searches. Then the featured image, of course, it's the largest image, and then adding product gallery images. So the way it'll be laid out is, let me just shoot out here real quick so you can look, see.
Going back to those tags, how do you separate the tags?
Let's look, I'm pretty sure, yeah, here.
I think as you start to type, it populates and you hit return.
It does start to populate, and then also, I'm sorry, I've got quite a bit of lag here from the video feed, I guess, but so as I type in mass, these different things pop up. I can select it, and so it's separating it unto itself, and then I can just click, and so it's just adding those across here for you, and then you.
Okay, so if the tag I need is not available on your list, I should ask, and you'll add that onto the tags to be available for selection?
I'm pretty sure you're able to just type it in. I don't know what it would be. Like, I don't know, let's put like the word brick. So brick's coming up. I don't know if it just lets you, type in whatever you want there or what. I don't know. We didn't really establish, any kind of, primary tag list. So I think it's just letting you type in what you want there, and then it breaks it out into separate items. You could also, you can also do multiple words that have spaces, and it'll take that as well.
Okay, thank you.
And then you can click the X to, of course, delete them if you change your mind. And then moving down, there's different product types here. There's 3 different ones. So simple product is just that, like, let's just say I have a mask. A mask would be a simple product. Group product would be something if you have multiple items that would, actually go into a group. We have folks that are selling things that have variations, like t-shirts, for instance. So if you're selling t-shirts, you've got multiple sizes. What you would do is select variable product. And then right now we've got 2 attributes. If we need them later, we can add them. But if you go into attributes, you can select an attribute. And right now we're offering either color or size. So in the instance of t-shirt, like if you wanted to set up size, you would click size and then add. And then you could come in here and you can select whichever one you want individually, or if I select one, I can click here and say select all. So everything that's listed currently under size, if you select all of those would populate. If you didn't want them, of course, again, you could get rid of them just clicking the X. And then let's see, and then add product. So if you click add product, like if you think you're finished, it'll let you know if there's something that you missed. So here it's prompting me that I don't have a product name. You see that it's highlighted in red. I'll just drop some stuff in here real quick. Categories are mandatory. A featured image would be mandatory. You have to at least upload 1 image as a featured image. You don't have to have, go ahead.
I don't see there how I can navigate out to tell it where my images are. You had an image library that you're drawing from, but how do the images get in there in the first place?
So, so instead of uploading, I just pulled from the library. I'm going to remove it and go back again. So set featured image. So it's under this tab, upload.
Ah, there we are.
So you click upload, and then you can select your files, and it will take you out to your computer, wherever your repository is of your files. And while I'm thinking about it also, so just to maintain server space, we've already had to increase our hosting plan 2 times because everybody's uploading, you know, a ton of pictures as more people come on. So we've got some basic parameters around image size. So we want the images to be no smaller than 800 pixels wide or tall, and no larger than 1200 pixels wide or tall. Some folks are, you know, able to work with Photoshop. If not, we've listed an Adobe product online in the vendor dashboard, a link where you can go and upload pictures, and you can crop them, or you can actually go in and type in what, you know, what size you want, so you fall under those parameters. Otherwise, the system will give you an error when you're uploading in that particular area. When you upload, if it's too big or too small, it'll alert you. So I select a feature image, and then so because I hit product again, it's highlighting things in red that didn't get filled in. So for shipping, I need to add something in here. I'll just say free national shipping. And you also need to add, I think we'll ultimately take out weight as a requisite. Right now it is required, but I think what we'll do is just set it up where the dimensions are going to be required. And then I can save
Now,
draft also.
the dimensions, is that for the actual product or the actual box packed?
It's going to be for your box.
Okay.
The one thing about the system that that I don't like, and I'm working toward changing it, is when you save a draft or you actually add the product, what it does is it kicks you back out to the main, like the top level at products. So you would have to click on products again if you weren't finished editing that product, and come down here to your list, whatever you've added, and edit it. So just a heads up for that. I don't like that process. It seems like it would be better if it stayed on the product while you're working on it, but just know that you'll have to go back in for that.
When you add a product, does it go live automatically as soon as you create it, or is it in creation mode until you make it go live?
So if you save to draft, it won't go out to the website, but once you've saved changes and you've added product, it will immediately appear on the website under the categories that you've listed. We've got an area here for SKU also. It's not mandatory that you add a SKU. That's for your own purposes. If you'd like to add one, you could add it here. I mentioned earlier, I forgot about variations. So we set up, or earlier I set up size, like if we were doing a t-shirt, for instance, and then under variations, attributes, we didn't take, let's see here. I think that just popped out again here. And the variations tab is where you would add like separate pricing, for instance, for the different sizes. In this example of a T-shirt, for instance. Let's see. And before you transition to the estimation, attributes, attributes tab. We had a bug in this the other day. And we've got everything working right. There may be something weird here again. I'm just checking. Okay, so it's actually user error. So on the left side, there's two checkboxes here. And again, this is for variable products. There's a checkbox to be visible on the product page, and then also used for variations. You'll want to select those. So based on the attributes that I've included here, again, for my t-shirt example, these different sizes, then under variations, I can select an action and say, for instance, create variations from all attributes, go, and it'll ask me if I want to actually do that. I say, okay, and it should be building the variations down here now based on those sizes. So here's all of my different sizes listed. These could be colors also, for instance. So if you click out here, it'll give you a drop down for this respective size, and then you can set up your individual SKU, price, sale price. You can set up stock status, all that. There's an area for image also. And then I'll go out to the site and show you guys kind of what that looks like. Under clothing. The t-shirts in here. So this is Alex in Australia. And this is how it'll appear on the product page. So you can select, you know, small, medium, large, whatever, or also like if you had something in colors, you could select that and then add to cart. And then these are kind of like set up as accordions. So you could just click again, click in this area, and it'll open or expand or close. And that's your variations. That's your attributes and variations. Linked products, of course, would be the same thing. Anything that would be similar products that would be linked together. You can set up your inventory where you can either indicate, a number yourself, or you can also have the system manage stock. So you click manage stock and you would say, I've got 6. And then as people are purchasing it, it will debit that number and, keep the stock for you. You can also tell people if you want to allow back orders or not. That's kind of the basics on our dashboard.
Hey, Brad.
Uh-huh.
On the linked products, that's got an option for cross-sell. So I populated that with, so I'm selling prints. Say I have Michael Myers as an artist, and I want to cross-sell Jason and Freddie. When I went to the vendor page or the product page, and it shows related products, it's showing other people's stuff, not mine.
Okay, let me make a note on that. And that was for cross sells?
Yeah, in
Okay.
the linked products subset.
How does the system determine related products?
I would imagine it's by meta tags on there, right?
It's working from categories and the tags also. Let's see, cross sell shows my products. Okay, I'll make a note about that and find out that answer also for you guys. If you go to the top again, the main nav, we're setting up the nav to be, category based. So this is where the list of vendors is at the top right on the main nav. And this is what I mentioned earlier. This is where once you've gone into settings and you've input all your store information, the name of your store and all that, you'll also need to upload at least one product before you'll start to appear here on the vendors page. When you first appear, it's just a basic icon like this. And so we're directing people, there's information, instructions on the vendor dashboard, but we'll go through it right now, how to set this up. So currently there's not a button in the dashboard where you could click and add an icon. Our system is currently using what's called Gravatar. It's been around for a long time. It's a website where you can upload an image like a logo or a photo of yourself, and then whatever email that you're using where you log into other sites, it basically pulls that image in. So every time you go to a site like a blog or something like that, you don't have to keep uploading your image. And so that's what any image that you've seen here, that's what these other vendors have done, where they've gone in and set up at gravatar.com. Let's go out there real quick and I'll show you. So it's Gravatar spelled like this. So it's referring to avatar. It's basically, you know, an image of yourself or your logo. You go out to avatar or gravatar.com, and there's a button here that says create your own Gravatar. So you would click that. It's just a free account to set up. It's just very basic information, just name and email. And then it gives you an opportunity to fill in or to upload your image.
Fred, can you pull that window up?
Let me do this. Is that better?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Do this. So the email that you use here is this is the key, is very important, is that whatever email you're signing up this account for, you want to use the email that you're using to log into Creepy Crafters, because that's how it knows where to bring that image into. So it's got a process that's different now than it used to be when we're sending folks out to this. There's WordPress is, I guess, the owner of Gravatar. So you'll see in a second, it takes you to WordPress. You'll have to come back to Gravatar. So that's a little bit kind of wonky, but let's see here. So anyway, you get your, your activation link, you click on the link, and then this is the part that's kind of wonky. It takes you out to WordPress. So basically it has, it's accepted your login, but you'll want to go back to Gravatar. I don't know why it brings you over here. It's kind of awkward. That's one of the reasons I wanted to get online today, is kind of point people and show you kind of what the process for this. Gravatar. And then at this point, it says you don't have any images yet. Add one by clicking here. And again, this could be your logo or an image of yourself, whatever you prefer. Upload new. And just like our media browser on the website, you're going to click and browse. Go out and find an image that you want to use. And next. And then it'll ask you to crop it however you'd like. And it also asks you to add a rating system. So just, it's defaulted to G rated. So click set rating, and that's really it. And then you can come back in here if you decide to change it later. But that's the basics of it. So you set up your account, you click on the confirmation link, you upload your image. Again, make sure you're using the email that you use to log into the website, and then you'll be able to you'll ultimately end up showing up here on the vendor list of vendors page, and then once you show up here, then the customers can click on your respective thumbnail, your avatar, and it'll take them to your page, your store page. And then your list of products as well. So if they see something they like, they can click on the product and of course go out, and it takes you back to the product page that has everything we talked about earlier, the name, the price, so forth. When you're filling out the product page, when pricing, there's also an area that you can set in something if you wanted to do a sale price. It's not mandatory, but you'll see an area where you can do that, and then it'll appear on your thumbnail in the store as a like a little red. You'll see a little red rectangle at the top of the icon. It'll show up here. See if we have any that appear. So it's like this. So it'll show a sale that the user can save X amount in your pricing. So that's kind of the basics of what I wanted to cover today. Any questions, you guys?
Do you have a methodology for promoting a listing so that it appears higher in the search results?
So we are going to be providing some real estate opportunities at the top here. There's going to be 2 different areas. We're still kind of figuring this out, how we want to roll this out ultimately, but there'll be real estate at the top, midway down the page as well. But we're ultimately looking at different ways that we can, give everybody a real, opportunity to get their listings up in the rankings and stuff, and push sales as much as possible. Go ahead.
Thank you. I have a couple more questions. So where do you promote your Creepy Crafters, and how do people get here in the first place?
So we've been promoting since the first of the year, both on Facebook and Instagram. We've got thousands of people that have actually signed up that are interested collectors and buyers. And so we've been updating them as we've been progressing with the website and letting them know ultimately, how we're doing in our development. There's literally an email going out today to them, letting them know that we're launching on the 1st, inviting them to come out and shop. So we're predominantly using digital right now with Facebook and Instagram. When we run our promos, we're getting in front of thousands of people. And then also press releases going out. There'll be, we've had different articles picked up already, and we're hopeful that, as we're moving into the Halloween season, this obviously is going to be, really exciting and interesting, I think, even to the general public. So not just the horror rags or whatever, the horror trades, or Halloween trades or blogs would be interested, but also just the, general media would be interested to let people know about, this cool location where they can, shop for unique handmade Halloween items.
Thank you. I know I had a lot of questions today. I really appreciate your answering all of them. I apologize for interrupting, but
not at all. That's what this is for. I wish I would have thought to do the Zoom thing sooner, but the idea came up, so I figured why not. A lot of kind of similar questions, that folks were having, so I just thought it would be good if we could host something like this, and then also again record it so it's available later if anybody couldn't make it or missed some of it or whatever, and we can come back and review it later. Did you guys have any other questions?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, go ahead, Jeremy.
Okay, thanks. I thought I remembered seeing when I first heard about this, I signed up for it, something about is there a certain amount of items that you can list at a time for free?
So we don't charge any listing fees at all. So you can list as many products as you want. There's no cap on that.
Okay, because for some reason I thought I read someplace there was a certain amount of items, and then there was a subscription fee that was added.
Nope.
Maybe it was something
Nope.
else I was reading.
No way. No, that's somebody else's site. We're not charging anything like that. So.
And also one more thing, just happened to notice when you were going through the different menus and stuff, I noticed it said Christmas. Are you going to think about doing Christmas items too?
They're going to be, these are going to be Halloween-based Christmas items. So there's some folks that are already posting. I forget the young lady's name. She's a female artist that's listing some ornaments that are Halloween oriented. So kind of like, if you think in terms of Nightmare Before Christmas, So yeah, that's under decorations. So it would be, you know, Halloween oriented Christmas items.
Okay, that's cool.
And we did, I actually got some recommendations today from someone else. They made some great recommendations for categories. And that's why I wanted to bring that up earlier is, you know, as you're adding products, you're going to be setting up categories, but ultimately the categories are, you know, there's going to be a little bit of ebb and flow as we're moving forward over these next few weeks because, you know, new folks are coming in with products that, you know, none of them fit under our existing categories. So we'll need to add categories, and ultimately some will be umbrella categories where other things will roll up under it. Like this will probably change, but like today we set up, we had bath and body by itself, but we have other items that are coming in like tumblers or cups, things like that. So we figured, you know, we need something like home goods, and so bath and body rolled up under that. So again, you know, just asking for your patience as, you know, as we develop the site and, you know, and we need to kind of move our categories around, it would at some point probably require going back into your products and, you know, just, you know, reestablishing some categories that are going to be, you know, most pertinent to your products.
Okay, cool.
Brad,
Uh-huh.
so I had been adding several products kind of randomly.
Uh-huh.
When you're at the product view where they're listed, how do you resort them? So like I want to bring one that I loaded early to the top of my store. I didn't see how to change the sorting order.
Let's see, are you listing under paintings and drawings, Rick?
Yeah.
Okay, let's just go look at your stuff real quick. I saw that you're adding some images earlier today, some products.
Yeah.
Let's see. So this, I'm sorry, this is just the specific product page for this particular item. Are you talking about in your store itself?
Yeah. Yeah. It might, when
Are you
we're
in the,
uploading,
are
when
you in
we're
the
uploading
listing?
all the products, there's the list of each one. And I wanted to change which one appears first.
Okay. Something else, guys, you'll see that in the product listings, it says sold by, and then your vendor store name there. You can click on that and also go to the vendor store. Is this the page you're talking about, Rick?
Yeah.
Okay. There is either a listing or a grid icon over here, I know, where you can change the listings. What you're asking is if you can change the order.
Right.
Okay. So I don't know the answer to that question. So I'll write that down also, Rick, and find that out.
Great.
Anybody else have any questions?
In the absence of being able to specify an order, is it presenting the most recent one first or the first one that you set up first? Or nothing? Is it just random? Do you know?
I believe it's random.
Rick, can you tell by yours?
It appears to be sorting by most recent first.
Is that what it
Okay.
is?
Yeah.
Okay. So the Pennywise was the last one that you uploaded,
Yeah.
you're saying?
Right.
Okay. This is a new system to me too, so I'm getting used to it as well, you guys. But I want to answer your question, so you know, we'll find this out, and then I'll post everything on the vendor dashboard as well.
Cool.
I have a question. When we go to share our URLs, what will they be?
So this is your store. When you go to the actual store itself, this is your URL right here. So it says vendors and then whatever you've named your store.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
Is anyone allowed to set up a shop, or is someone keeping track of it to make sure it's only artists or crafters, or can anyone just set up?
So both questions, the answer is yes. Anybody can set up a shop. I had to ask somebody to remove products the other day. They had some really pretty jewelry, but it wasn't creepy at all, just regular jewelry. So we are, you know, we're monitoring that. Like, you know, it needs to fall under, you know, the horror or Halloween genres. It's creepy crafters. And then we're not we're really trying our best to not censor. But if there's just something that's just really very, very offensive or something like that, you know, we'll ask somebody to pull it down. And there's a team of folks on our staff that it's not just one person making that determination, because it's art, and so it's who's determining what's art and what's not. But at the same time, we want a website that's pro and shows good form, so we don't want raunchy stuff or anything like that, and it needs to be handmade. This is handcrafted stuff. This is artisan. You guys are all artists, and that's what we want to push is the artistry. So.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my concern is just people maybe buying things off of Wish or AliExpress and trying to resell them as handmade.
Yeah, we're not.
Which unfortunately does happen quite a bit.
Yeah, we won't allow that at all. And
okay.
And I've gotten to know a lot of you guys personally, and these types of forums like this helps to for all of us to introduce one another. Our focus is to build a really great community of talented artists and support each other and help each other, with our sales and, with our techniques and stuff like that. This is version 1 of the site. It's, if you think in terms of when Etsy started, Etsy's website today is not the website that Etsy started with, and so we appreciate you guys being patient as we go through our growing pains, and we just want to make it the best experience for you, the vendors, and also for the customers, and so holding forums like this and getting your feedback and answering your questions. It's just, for me, it's just super important that you're happy and this is really working for you, and that we're all, again, working in community spirit.
And we appreciate you.
Thank you guys.
This
is really, it's super exciting. This has been a dream for quite a while for me, and it's just so exciting that to have all of this starting to come together. I mentioned over the last year with soliciting both artists and buyers and collectors, we've got a database of about 2,000 artists, and so I've been emailing folks. Most of you guys are probably on that list, and you may be getting the emails. The bummer is that we didn't want a big friction point by asking for a lot of information when people were signing up, so we just asked for emails. The problem is, which is hindsight, is we discovered that most people are using throwaway emails like a Yahoo or a Gmail account that they don't necessarily check. So when we're sending emails out, I'm sending out to about 2,000 email addresses, and there's probably about 400 or 500 people, opening the email. So we're sending out repeated emails because we want to continue trying to get in there. There's, sometimes the emails go into spam. Sometimes some people have a lot of emails, they get buried. Some people aren't checking their Yahoo account very often. There's different things that are happening. And so, and then I'm hopeful that, at some point also that if, we've not reached a particular vendor that they're like, wow, we're getting close to Halloween, I should check in on this, how things are going, so. But something also that, I mentioned to a lot of you guys when I first introduced, Creepy Crafters, is that unlike Etsy, listing on Etsy, you're lost in a huge sea of crafters that are, and they're unrelated. And so the cool thing about Creepy Crafters is we're everybody's, bringing together, everything under one genre. And so the people that are coming to this site, they're specifically looking for your art. So that's a really cool thing about, the platform. There's an email, support@creepycrafters. I answer that personally. If you guys have any questions, please email me. I want to be here for you. And if something comes up after this and didn't get answered, shoot me a note, and I'll post that on the vendor dashboard as well, so everybody can benefit from that as well. Anybody else have any other questions?
Brad, I did have one other question. I know you spoke about the store icon and Gravatar and all that. Could you talk a little bit more about the banner, the store banner?
Yeah, in fact, I'm glad you brought that up. I've got, let's see here, if I can get this to pop up. I've got a mock banner. Here we go. So, and these are the dimensions that you'll want to use. It's 1017 pixels wide by 250. And I definitely encourage you to put something up there. Otherwise, it does leave a void at the top of your page. So, and I do graphic design. I've been doing it for many years. I'm happy to help you guys. If anybody needs help with, setting up their banner or something like that, shoot me a note to support at Creepy Crafters, and I'll help you with that too. Go back out. So like, for instance, Rick's got his uploaded. And it could be anything, it could just be an image, it can have text on it, whatever you want. And once again, since you brought it up about avatar and the icon, the icon is respective to your store only. So the avatar is totally different. This does not show up. You could use the same image on both, but this icon here is for your store specifically. But when you go back out to the vendor's listing, that's your avatar that you have to set up through Gravatar.
I'll need to follow up with you because it's still not working.
Okay. Yeah. So the couple main things I think I mentioned to you, Rick, too, is to just to double check is that you use the email on Gravatar that you use to log into your Creepy Crafters account, and then also making sure your store information is filled out in the settings in the vendor dashboard. And you also need to have at least one product before you'll start to show up on the list of vendors page on this page. Any other questions, you guys?
I have another one. Not surprising, right?
No, it's good.
Many of my products are one of a kind, and so once it's sold, it's gone. There isn't ever going to be another one. And of course, I don't want to delete it because I need to be able to keep my purchase history all linked onto it. So, and I'm not sure it's really valuable for it to show up in search results in the store anymore because it's no longer available. So what happens when a custom product is sold like that?
That is a very good question. So I know for sure. I mean, you can set it that it's out of stock. You want to be able to maintain it because you want to maintain records for sales, right?
I'm sure you don't. When I design software, you just tag it as it's no longer available, and it just doesn't appear in the search results anymore. But of course, you can still keep all your purchase history attached to it.
Right.
I just don't know how your site is built.
Let me check it.
Or how I would even do that to mark it to deactivate that listing.
Right. Let me write that down. Deactivate. Deactivate listing. So basically, you're keeping the listing, but it's no longer available to the public.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Okay. Anybody else? Any other questions, you guys? I'm happy to answer any questions at all. All right. If there's nothing else, again, you guys email me, no problem at all. Rick, I can get with you after the call if you want. It can help you get your avatar set up. But I'm here for you guys. I'm sitting at the computer 24/7 between now and the 1st. So just hit me up and I'll help you any way I can. And I'm so grateful that you guys are interested in joining up. I think this is going to be, we're building a really cool, talented community here of artists. And I think the customers are going to be thrilled, to come and see all this great art that you guys are producing. So thank you again so much. And thanks for getting on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
See you guys soon. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.